If you're an engineer or even just studying to be one, then listen up. This one's for you. We're about to go on a journey from the classroom all the way to the marketplace. Think of this as your guide to becoming a creator, a builder, in this new age of AI and hardware. Let's get right into it.
Okay, let's just get right to the elephant in the room, shall we? You see it everywhere. AI can write code, and honestly, it's often better than a junior developer. It can whip up entire reports, design logos, debug scripts in seconds. And that's a kind of scary thought, right? It all boils down to one single burning question. With AI doing all this, what is actually left for you to do?
But here's the twist. Here is where the opportunity is absolutely massive. AI can't solder a circuit board. It can't get its hands dirty and fix a motor. It can't build a physical bridge or wire up a solar farm. You see, the physical world, that's still human territory. And for you, as an engineer, that's not a limitation, it's a liberation.
Now, before we even touch a soldering iron or talk about business plans, we have to deal with the single biggest obstacle you're going to face. And it's not the technology, it's not your competition. The biggest enemy, well, it's the one inside your own head. This is the mindset battle.
It really just comes down to two ways of thinking. The first is a fixed mindset. This is the voice that tells you your abilities are set in stone. It sounds like, I'm just not good at circuits. But the other way, the growth mindset, that's the belief that your abilities can be built, that they can be developed through practice and hard work. With this mindset, failure isn't proof that you're dumb, it's just data. So remember, engineering isn't about being born a genius, it's about what you do when your circuit blows up.
Look, every single person who's ever built something cool has traveled through these 4 zones. You start in the comfort zone. It's safe, it's easy, it's where I'll start tomorrow lives. But to do anything that matters, you have to step into the fear zone. This is where all the excuses are, all the what-ifs. But if you push through that, you get to the growth zone. This is where you're made, soldering at 2 a.m., debugging code, learning from every single mistake. And only after you spend time there can you reach the success zone.
Okay, so you've got your head in the right place. Now let's arm you with the right tools. And I'm not just talking about screwdrivers and multimeters. I'm talking about the mental models you need to forge a totally new path.
This right here is probably the most important shift you'll ever make. Our entire university system is designed to turn you into a job seeker, to have you constantly asking, what skills do I need to get hired? But a creator, a builder, asks a totally different question. What value can I build that people will actually pay for? You gotta remember, revenue is just a side effect of solving someone else's problem.
Think of this like a map that shows you how to get from trading your time for money to having your money work for you. Most of us are trained to live on the left side, E for employee, where you have a job, or S for self-employed, where you own a job. But either way, you're trading time for money. The real goal, the path to freedom and impact, is on the right side, B for business owner, where you own a system, and I for investor, where your money generates more money.
And look, this isn't some crazy impossible jump. It's a step-by-step process. You start in S, doing some freelance work, taking on small projects to build up your skills, and some cash. Then you use that experience to build a product that can scale. That moves you into the B quadrant. And finally, you reinvest your profits. That's how you move to I. That's the path.
So what about the tech stuff, the nuts and bolts? Honestly, it's not as scary as you think. These are the basic Lego bricks of the modern physical world. And here's the best part. You can get a really solid practical grip on all of this in about 3 months of just playing around, of focused tinkering. We're talking 3 months of doing, not 3 years of lectures.
And this is where AI comes back in. And here's the secret. It's not coming for your job. It's your new best friend, your co-pilot. Use ChatGPT to write all that boilerplate Arduino code. Use an AI image generator to brainstorm designs for your product's case. Let it help you debug. AI handles all the boring, repetitive digital stuff so that your amazing human brain can focus on the hard stuff, the physics, the mechanics, the real-world problems.
All right, mindset, check. Toolkit, check. Now for the big one. How do we actually get from a prototype to actual profit? Let's map out the path to revenue. First off, you need to understand just how big this playground is. We're not talking about some small niche. We are talking about a global hardware market worth over $1.5 trillion. It's one of the biggest economic engines on the entire planet. Now let's bring that number home. Of that massive $1.5 trillion pie, Pakistan's current slice is, well, it's less than a crumb. Less than 1/10 of 1%. Now look at that gap.
That's not depressing. That is a colossal 100-fold opportunity for growth, just waiting for engineers like you to start building. So where you even start? You start right here, with painful problems you see every single day. Think about it. Smart controllers for water pumps that save farmers water and electricity, better systems to manage solar energy, low-cost automation to help with agriculture. These aren't sci-fi fantasies. These are urgent needs right here, right now. So here it is, your simple 5-step recipe for turning those problems into profit. Now, notice step 1 is not have a cool idea. It's identify a painful problem. Then you research what's out there, build a quick and dirty prototype, and this part is non-negotiable. Get it in front of at least 5 real users. Their feedback is pure gold. Then you iterate, and then you sell. That's the whole process.
Of course, I know what you're thinking. That little voice of fear is creeping in, right? What if my prototype doesn't work? Great, then you'll learn why it didn't. What if nobody buys it? Then you ask them what they would buy, and you pivot. The goal isn't to avoid failure. The goal is to fail fast, fail cheap, and learn from it forever.
And the biggest excuse of all? I don't have any money. Let's just smash that myth right now. You have resources. Your university labs have equipment that's probably just sitting there, free to use. You and a few friends can bootstrap a project. There are national competitions with prize money up for grabs. Or you can do a little online freelancing to fund your own hardware dream. The no money excuse? It's just a myth.
Okay, let's bring this all home. Because this journey, it's about more than just a career. It's about an engineer's true destiny, which is to build the future.
I want you to just picture this for a second. 12 months from today. You've pushed through that fear zone, you've built 3 different working prototypes, you have actually sold your creation to 10 real paying customers. You're no longer worried about finding a job because you are too busy creating them. That is success, and it is totally within your reach.
Let me be absolutely clear. With your skills, with the training you have, with the potential sitting in your brain, you are not meant to debug someone else's ancient code or work in a call center. You are the architects of whatever comes next. You are meant to build.
So I'm not going to just leave you with ideas. I'm leaving you with a challenge, a 7-day challenge to get you off the couch and into the game. Don't just think about it, do it. Start super small. Day 1, just buy a microcontroller. Day 2, make an LED blink. It's the hello world of hardware. By the end of this 1 week, you'll have gone from nothing to a real, tangible concept. This is how it all starts.
I'll leave you with this amazing quote from the computer scientist Alan Kay. The best way to predict the future is to invent it. So the only question left is, what future are you going to invent?